to Crazy Talk. This is our first video production of the normally voiced talk show in there. Evan Kay is my co-host, and today we have Lazarus, also known as Ben Richardson. He is our guest. He is the VP of Business Development in there. So over the past couple weeks, a lot of the forum talk has been about advertising in there and promoting products. So we've asked Ben to come on and talk a little bit about everything. And we'll get into that in about, 5-10 minutes. We're going to talk a little bit, see how everybody's doing, and see what's new in there. So welcome, everybody, and thanks for coming. Hey, Evan. Hey, Ben.
Hello. Yeah, you guys are here in a historical moment tonight. You all are going to be on the in-world screens. If it passes submission.
It will.
Yes, it does.
It will. Y'all know you cannot say anything that's not PG-13, or you will get bleeped.
I would be more likely to do that than they would, probably.
I know.
So we got a couple announcements coming up. On a future show, a guy who used to be up here named Leica, a lot of you older people may know him. He is going to be doing some work with some bands, some rock bands, indie bands, and things. And we're going to bring them on the show and hopefully get a couple of live concerts going here over the next month or two.
Hey, I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, it works so well with Stebbin. We'll do it a little smaller than they did with Stebbin. It won't be a big, gigantic production, but it will be. We're going to start doing having bands and entertainment on the show now. Maybe once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks or so. So it's a new concept, so it's going to have a few little quirks to work out, but we'll get it.
It will be so much fun.
I think Ben has ants in his britches.
He does. He's acting like you did all day.
I know.
Well, that darn end page is so close to the page up button or page down button.
Yeah, delete makes you stand up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot too.
So we're so happy to see y'all here, and thank you so much for coming.
Yep. We got one other show announcement too, which we made during the last audio. Well, actually, I have two. There's going to be no audio show this week, so those of you who normally listen.
They can't.
Yeah, you can't. But I don't know who here downloads it, who doesn't. But there's going to be an audio show. And also, we're going to start shooting the travel program next week.
Nice.
So we're going to do little 5-minute pieces everywhere. So at people's fun zones, at people's neighborhoods, at your paths.
Evan just wants to know if he's on your ignore list. So if you are, you might want to take him off, just so that he doesn't blast you in the forums for being on there.
Oh, I'll talk about you on air.
I know he will, so that's a warning. Fair warning.
But if
Evan?
Yeah, really.
He will blast you with a paintball.
But if you guys know of anybody that's like built this just amazing place, because Mackie and I can't know everything, so yeah, we need to know about
feedback.
Them.
We'd love feedback. So the Crazy Talk travel show is going to be Evan and I wandering around the world talking about the places in there that strike our interest, or your interest in this case. So we'd love to have some feedback on that. Hey, Dolphin.
Yeah, let me be up here. I'll be right back. You keep talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, surprise. So if you have any feedback on that, we'll start a forum thread, and you guys can, by all means, beef up your paths, your neighborhood, your house, and we'd love to go and show it off. Oh, and Banshee Kate's trying to get in too. Maybe she'll sing. So the Crazy Talk Travel Show will also be a video production, and thanks to Miracle Pictures for providing their awesome talents. Not only is Crazy Talk Show going to be a video production, but also the Crazy Talk Travel Tours. And so I'd like to give a big round of applause for Miracle. And also during the course of our shows, we will be giving away prizes, and we will be having guests on, and, oh, pardon me. Never mind. So actually, I'd like to start in on Ben, if y'all don't mind. Like I said earlier, Ben is our Vice President of Business Development for there, And as we talked about in the forums in the last, well, I stated in the forums, I guess it was Wednesday, I wanted to let you guys know that we were live at the Virtual Worlds Conference and that we were going to be in staff avatars and demo avatars walking around. And if we came up to you, first to apologize if we ditched you right away, but what we were doing is we had fantastic demos, and we were doing live demos. So instead of having something pre-scripted, we would just show the people that were interested in our product whatever they wanted to see. So if they wanted to go see Zephyr, we took them to Zephyr. If they wanted to go see, you know, Fairy Tale Village, we showed at Fairy Tale Village. And so I wanted to say a big thank you to Evan and Elora because they were so patient, and so many times, like, I'd start a conversation and then, you know, somebody at the booth would be asking me something and I would have to walk away. So I really appreciate your patience with that. We had such a fun time at the conference. It was just amazing. We had our beta, our gamma, our prod, which is the their client, and then also we had VLB running. And people were just amazed with all of the different avatars we had, all of the different things we had to show them. I mean, it was just a fun conference. So I wanted to introduce you to Ben, who rises to the occasion. And let him tell you a little bit about the policy and the philosophy of their and our advertising. So, Ben, if you'd like to talk a little bit about it. Hi, Ben.
Hey, everybody. So I run business development for There.com, and a lot of what I do is work with advertisers and brands in the context of There.com in terms of figuring out how we will work with advertisers and also simultaneously enhance the community experience in the world. So that kind of gets to a little bit of what our philosophy is. We're very interested in looking for advertisers and marketers who meet the interests of our community as a whole, and we're also interested in not just sort of bringing them into world and creating intrusive experiences, but we're really interested in, you know, bringing them in creative ways that users can actually make part of their experience. So as a quick example of that, one of the things that some of you probably know that we did with Nike, for example, was, you know, we brought their shoes into our world, and rather than just put a billboard in world, we created virtual versions of their shoes, and if you purchased them, acquired them, and put them on, they actually made you run faster in world. So those are some examples of the kinds of ways that we want to actually, you know, make advertisers part of the.
And I know that's a huge concern over a lot of the members. You know, they worry about, will it become just this mega Walmart kind of looking thing, and that really relaxes a lot of people, knowing that the community experience isn't going to be, you know, taken away from. So I'm so glad to hear that as a member, as of course part of the team. You know, that really pleases.
Yeah, I think people were worried, like, would we see gigantic billboards for a soda company stuck on the top of a hill over Taboo and things like that, and I think that's what a lot of people were worried about. Not just, you know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just there's one big difference between There.com and some of the other virtual worlds that are out there. A lot of the other worlds are based on open standards environments, and we're actually not, meaning you can't just create something and drop it into world. You have to create something and put it through a product submissions process inside of There.com, and what that means is we actually screen it for PG-13 requirements, making sure that, you know, it blocks porn, it blocks nudity, it blocks extreme language, but it also, that is aesthetically pleasing, and it actually
doesn't block Evan.
Hey.
Sorry.
All right.
But, you know, one of the other big reasons for doing that is, besides the PG-13, is so that it works aesthetically in the world, and it actually functions and interacts with people's, you know, avatars properly.
Love that. We love that. I mean, you can still see the Levi jackets and pants in the auctions, and it's like, ooh, who's selling them? You know, who's still got them in their inventory? I love that.
Yeah.
It helps the market. It helps, you know, it interests. Love it. And the Nike shoes, I mean, those things. How much? What does anybody know out there? How much did the Nike shoes go for last time they were in auctions? Does anybody know?
Oh, they can go from anywhere from as low as 50 up to I've seen them well over 100K. So.
Yeah, Rhythm says 90K. That's amazing. And what does Super Bunnies list for in the store?
20, I think.
20K. That's what I was thinking. I couldn't remember if it was 20 or 30. So really, it's the brand that they're going for, you know, and the fact that they're rare and unique now. So that means a lot to a company that's interested. Not only do they have something that does something else, you know, makes them run faster, blah, 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 but also looking back now and seeing what Nike sell for in the auctions, it retains that initial, you know, load of money that they put down. It's still working for them, 4 years later?
Right, and there's an interesting underlying assumption there that we sort of operate against, Jody, as you know, which is that you know, this whole virtual world experience is not sort of the second identity that most people have. You know, for most people, it's actually an extension of their real life world.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so all the brands that they're interested in the real life, or services and experiences, are relevant in the virtual context as well, as long as value or the experience is there.
That is right on. You're very correct. And that was one of the interesting things that came up in the GDC was, when I was trying to explain, still 4 years into this career of mine, what I do, my mother, you know, she was talking about, you know, why would these companies go to a convention about virtual worlds? And I said, well, you know, virtual worlds is the next new media. You know, there's going to be numerous virtual worlds, and you're going to find your home in one of them. You know, you're going to find where you're most comfortable, and therefore the companies are going to want to target you there. I'm sorry, Elora, you had a question?
I think I forgot.
Okay.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Sure.
The thing about the advertising and the branding, even though people don't want to see it, people gravitate toward that. People like it. They like familiarity. I mean, in the world, the same thing happens in here. There's buggy collectors. There's people who buy specific designers.
Exactly.
People like having those brands. It's not like something that's not something that people.
You're very right. I mean,
I think the thing here, though, that everybody was most concerned about was just it being intrusive. You know, just no giant billboards, no, which members do that. Yeah, I mean, we all know that. They do that. But I don't think people would want to see a giant billboard. Now, this is just what, you know, feedback I've heard so far. No giant billboards from a cola company or stuck to the side of one of the Bear May buildings or, you know, an automotive.
I think if there was an urban development, that would be different. If it was set in a different environment than just over, you know, Soulmates or over, you know, in the middle of Quintana. I think if it was a different environment, I think that would be perfectly acceptable in some areas. But, yeah, I mean, I guess what I want to reiterate is, you know, what Ben was saying is that, you know, and Ben, if you want to hop in here and say it, but the philosophy of whether or not we would choose to take in a promotion.
You got cut off there, but yeah. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So not to say that you'll never see a billboard inside there.com. That's wrong. You will see a billboard inside there.com. However, the difference is that it will not be an intrusive experience. So if, you know, what comes first, community or advertising? In our mind, it always has and always will be. Community is going to come before advertisers because we have no community if we don't do things that the community needs. So we are extremely careful about placement and will be. This year you will start to see some pretty exciting brands and very cool offerings inside of there.com. I'm extremely excited to offer some things like Rich Media that gives people things to do in World. Those are going to be some exciting things, and there are also some products and services that we'll see soon. However, I don't think that they're going to cause any sort of negative reaction in the world because we've been pretty good, in my opinion, about, you know, structuring these deals so that that they add some value, as I said earlier.
Let's stop right here right quick. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Banshee Kate. Welcome to Salon Banshee, where you will find real designs for virtual living. Tasteful collections, including coordinating furniture suites, home decor, accessories, and
Flaming Poo!
No. No poo. Animations are a specialty here at the salon. You will find animated fireplaces, candles, and
Flaming sacks of poo!
bubble blowers. Ixnay on the Upe. We don't have those types of products here.
It's auction number 5658.
No poo for you. Those of you with taste and class, please visit my very shishi shop at the Village Marketplace Mall or my lot at Gabby's new Member Services neighborhood to see the latest coordinating collections.
Oh, okay. Does anybody have any questions for Ben? We have limited time with him, so we adore that he was able to jump in and talk with us. I also can't take too much of his time. So if you guys have any questions for Ben at this point, or Lazarus, we'd be willing to take some from the audience. Is that Rhythm?
Go ahead, Rhythm.
He's saying, how come all the brand pricing seems to be on the high side? Like with the Nike and Levi's.
You mean in terms of how much it costs a member to acquire one of those products?
And do you mean initially or now?
I think he means resale now.
The resale, that's the market. The market controls that. That means the members control how much they're willing to pay for it and how much somebody's willing to auction them for. So that's what we were kind of talking about, the retention of the brand names in there. Even 4 years after the end of their promotion, it's still working for them. People still don't want to let go of them. People still want to, test and see how much they can make off of them in the auctions. So that really doesn't have anything to do with the initial product. It's all up to the members.
Well, it's like
Somebody will pay 90.
it's like in the real world when they stop manufacturing a product, it becomes rare.
Right.
And
it's like eBay.
Exactly. It's supply and demand. Those products, Levi's and Nikes, are not made in here. I can't say never. They'll never be again, but they're not made in here at the moment. So there's only X amount of them in the world. So of course, there's a shortage of them from all the members having them. So that's why they cost more. When they initially came out, when they were in the shop catalog, they were comparably priced to everything else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They may have been a little bit more. Like I remember, I couldn't afford the Levi's for a while. I did as many of those darn. What were they? Remember when we would get the surveys, remember? In the very beginning, we'd get surveys, and we'd make, 15, 20K off of them? I was saving up for my Levi's.
Yeah, I mean, they were pricier than most of them, but they were comparable to
Right. Just like in the real world, you can buy a pair of jeans at Walmart, or you can buy a pair of Levi's. They're going to be a little bit more expensive for the Levi's. So,
Right.
Yeah. And that's just a market thing.
But I would never be opposed to seeing branded products in here, if especially those that we can use, like
Absolutely. And I love the ones like the Nikes that do something special. Those are hot, I love that.
Any more
And
questions?
I'm sorry,
for Ben?
we're real quick Phil, in here, we're trying to avoid actually naming items, and so I slipped when I said, a name brand. We're trying to stay away from that, and instead of saying actually a name brand, instead talk about what kind of product it is, only because we want to protect those brands out there. This is going to be out in the public view, and we'd like to protect those. So, I'm sorry. I'm the one that slipped. I know, and if you would please edit that, I would appreciate it.
Well, I have no choice. It won't get approved.
That's true. Did anybody else have any questions for Ben?
You've got the marketing guy here. There's your chance. Your one chance.
Your one chance. Like he's never going to come back. If you scared him. All right. Well, Ben, I thank you for coming. I really appreciate you coming by, especially short notice. That was very, very sweet of you.
Yeah, I'm
thanks a
happy to
lot.
come. I'm happy to come by you guys, and if you have a show in the future that talks about this topic, I'd love to be a part of it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Yay. I can't clap. I forgot how. see, I'd have to type, and that would be too much work.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
so
so-
nice of
so-
him to come by.
Yeah, so people who are worried, I mean, we will see branded products in here at some point, but, like he said, it's not going to be, there doesn't operate the way they do in some other places, so it will be taken care of. So those of you who are worried, they're not going to destroy the place with brand names everywhere.
One of the most common questions that I had at the conference last week was companies coming up to me and asking me, seriously, how are you going to protect my product if I choose to brand in your world? And, we explained to them the submission process, and, a couple of them, would counter back, well, what if I need something right then and right now, and I explained to them how it works in MTV world, if they need something and they're, they have the artist develop it and it's ready to go, it goes right in, because those are already, and it's something, of course, that the members would love to have. They would love to be able to be known as a reputable, developer, that they could get their submissions approved right away. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way in there, because we have so many wonderful designers. We couldn't have a short list. But in a world like MTV, it's their world. They can decide if they want something in right this second. Well, darn it, they're going to have it right there this second. So they really appreciated that flexibility. So I have a feeling we'll see more virtual worlds branded about like MTV. Just catering to themselves, where they don't have to be a little part of the world, they're actually the whole world. So it'll be exciting to see in the future, We had all walks of life at that conference, all different kinds of companies selling different kinds of things, or just promoting different kinds of things. I saw charity organizations, I saw big major label companies, press, of course, were there. It was really exciting. It was neat. It was definitely different from the GDC. The GDC was basically the member gamer type, but you didn't really see any members at the Virtual Worlds conference. It was really geared for and those at the booths.
Well, the bottom line too is that when there's accept advertisers in here and product placement and such, it's gonna benefit all of us eventually.
Yeah, it does. And that's the one thing that you can all relax in knowing, is that McKenna's bottom line is the community. And if you didn't know that, if you weren't around from Black Friday, you're going to see it. And seriously, yes, I'm a fangirl. Yes, I work for the company, but I've also been a member. I know a fangirl, but I also see the company for what it really is, and yes, they give me my paycheck, but they're also an amazing group of people, and the community is always the first and foremost thing when any issue has come up. It's, how's this going to affect the community? How can this help the community? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm not worried about advertisers at all. And just like Ben said, before he came on, we were talking about the philosophy and how, they won't accept a deal. If it's going to disturb the members' experience, they won't even take the deal starting off, So that really makes a huge difference.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I just don't want to see, I don't want it to look like a shopping mall in here. I don't mind advertising.
Right.
I don't mind seeing a brand name here or a brand name there. Developers in here do that now.
I know, and I love that. I love that. We have so many brand name designers in there. And, just by building their own reputations, by being talented, and, there's people in, of all walks of life that are in here being developers, people that have maybe never touched a technical program like GMax or, and they're teaching each other. I mean, it's incredible. Like Zach. Zach and Grim having these buggies sell for as much as they do, that's amazing.
And also, they advertise. Many of them advertise, so it's.
And we
it's
don't
really,
mind it one bit, do we?
Well, no. I mean, within reason.
Sometimes.
There are limits to everything, but
Right. And I have to admit, sometimes I go in Zephyr and I'm like, gosh, it seems so commercialized. But then I think about, okay, but who's commercializing it? We are. We're all, it's our community, so it doesn't bother me so much. It is kind of like a, whoa, This isn't the middle of the desert. This
Yeah,
is the mall.
Well, it's a free market in here, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just like it is out in the real world. I believe in product placement. I'm fine with that. I'd like to see limited billboard advertising, limited, you know, blinking signs and things like that. I would like to see that limited. But as far as product placement goes, I say bring it on because I'm more than likely going to buy your product. You know.
I know. I know.
So, but yeah, so you know, we'll go into that more when you know, over future shows as more information comes out.
And it sounds like Ben would be happy to come back and talk to us again, so that's good. Elor, do you have a question? Or
Did he
comment?
say it was going to be soon? Did I say that correctly?
Did he say what?
He did say
Did he say
soon.
the time?
Yes, he
did
did
he
say
say a
soon.
time period or something? Yeah.
He said soon.
You know, soon.
Did he
I
say
don't know.
this fall?
I'm sorry?
Did he not say this fall or something? No.
We'll have to find that out in the
I
credits.
I just heard him say soon. That's all I heard.
Yeah, I don't obviously know every detail of what he does and what talks he has, of course. I mean, duh. But yeah, it's soon, and it's going to be exciting, you know.
Actually, I believe his exact words were, "Soon you will be seeing advertising in here." Of course, we'll know on the tape, but he said
Yeah.
soon. He did say
He
soon.
said soon. Yeah.
Any more questions about this?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have to make the shows. We have to make them concise because we have limited time because of what is it, bandwidth? I'm gonna try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
The video file.
Yeah, there we go. So, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about before we end for the night? Are we running okay on time, Francis?
We got a few more minutes.
Okay. I want to give another plug to Miracle Pictures for working hard to produce this video production. This is going to be so much fun, working alongside with him and his whole company. People, Mary Helen here is our camera, when we are so blessed to have her.
Yep, and I want to say thanks to Banshee Kate and Grim, too, for sponsoring the very first video.
Yes, they go down in history. And
Yeah.
a big plug for Leica for being, of course it's like 3 in the morning for him, so he won't be in as much, but he does a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, works with Evan to get bands coming in and
Yeah, and
talking to
let me
them.
talk about that right quick, too. One of the first
Sure.
band we have coming up is a band called Falls, F-A-L-L-Z. And I will put the link in the credits, but it'll also be on my website. So they will be here. He's going to try and get them for a show 1 month from today, the show the month out. So,
All right.
Yep, and we're going to be bringing you a lot of bands, so you're going to be seeing. And we may even do those as a separate show, and so just do Crazy Talk as a regular talk show. And I had talked to Leica about possibly bands draw a lot of interest. And so I think it would probably be better maybe if we just take the second show for that. But we'll work out the details on that. But if you guys have any bands that you want to suggest or whatever, if they have to be independent. They can't be signed to a major label. But if you guys have MySpace and you have a band on there that you like and you would like to see them featured on here, email me and let me know, and I will talk to Leica, and he will do his best to try and get them in here. Because he's already lined us up 5 bands already, and
He's a rock star. And what is our email address? Is it crazy.talk?
It's justcrazytalk@gmail.com.
Justcrazytalk@gmail.com. Okay.
And also send us email if you have a Paz or a Fun Zone or a neighborhood or know of somebody that does and want us to feature them on our travel show. Email us and let us know about it, because we're out and about, and I'm out and about looking, and I have a list of things here that we want to feature, but I can't be everywhere. So if you guys know somebody who's doing something really cool,
or even your favorite their landmarks, if you
Right,
want us to showcase that, we can do that. And I can go in and find some background about those landmarks too, So if you give us enough time, I have contact with some of the old artists that actually put them in World. So if we have enough time, we can actually get some of those artists on the in the interview part. So do let us know if there's something that you guys specifically want to see or hear about. We would love to encompass.
And if you are watching these on the In-World screens, we're going to be developing a few more shows for there. which is why we started Crazy Talk TV. So we're going to be doing.
You guys are guinea pigs.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, this has never been done before, so we're going to make a few mistakes. You know, things went smooth tonight, but we made a few bumps.
Except for the
but-
CS interruption.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the old badass nasty service. So we've got 3 shows in the world. 2 shows definitely that we're going to tape, and another one, the band show, we may do like a Dare bandstand or something. So a lot of good things are coming up. Yeah, I mean,
So you launched that on me in the middle of the show. I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, taking the bands, we've got so many books.
I know. I'm totally excited about it. I love music, and this is a great way to find indie bands. So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So if you know of the band,
And Leica
on
has
Facebook,
incredible music taste, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
All right. So we have the 36-minute limit here, and so I want to say goodnight to everybody. And thank you so much for being a part of our first televised Crazy Talk. And Evan, I want to say thank you to you for all of your hard work, because basically, if y'all didn't know, basically he says, okay, Mackie, just show up, and we're doing. I mean, he takes care of everything. He does so much work behind the scenes, and I just love him dearly.
And we will see you guys in,
Mwah.
what is it, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes. So thank
what's
you
the
all
announcement?
so much.
Thanks, guys. Be safe. Have
Thank
fun.
you, and thank you to Miracle Pictures and to Leica and Evan. And Carrie, Kirill, oh my gosh. Give him big credits.
Mr. Archives. Well, he always gets credit.
I know, make sure you give him big ones.
All right, guys. Have fun out there. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, guys.